I am super excited. I am here at the range. I've just sighted in my scope here. I'm actually super pleased. So today I'm using the Primary Arms Apollo, which is a 3-18 by 50. It is a BDC for 6.5 Creedmoor. So I've also got it mounted here on my Desert Tech MDR. I'm using muzzle brake here. It allows me to take this cage off, and that's pretty warm, but I can screw that cage off real easy. Makes it real easy to mitigate the blast here out of the range. Luckily, I've got no one else here at the range with me. I'm always happy with that. Anyway, I've got this sighted in, and I wanted to set this to 0, and I wanted to walk through with that with you guys. For me, on a scope, locking turrets is a favorite feature of mine. And the reason is because when you're trying to 0, it's a real pain in the butt when you go to take off these caps, and then it's turning while you're trying to get it re-zeroed. But because I have this on lock, I can just simply unscrew this, pop this straight off, and drop it exactly on 0. And because it's on lock, it can't twist, get any ghost clicks or turns in it. Make sure this O-ring stays right in here. Nice and finger tight. Okay, so that is right on 0. Make sure that's locked in. So the O-rings definitely like to pop out with these screws here. Make sure that's exactly on 0. And nice finger tight. I've got it on this extended Aero Precision scope mount here. It's really hard because it's a bullpup to get this eye relief just right, but I've got it perfect right here. And so I really like this extended one. I've got it all the way onto the last rail and then reaching over the handguard rail. And let's go ahead and take a look at the targets. I'll show you what I did there. So I actually started on this target. It's just a scrap target I was just trying to get on paper. Once I saw I was on paper, I moved over here to a clean target. And I first started hitting here on the left, and then I went to the right, and then I was hitting middle. So I came up, hit those, and that was all with actually cellular and Bellet 140 grain full metal jacket, as well as soft point ammo. So definitely range ammo. It is not super accurate. I was getting about 1.5 inch groups out of that. But what I was really interested in using, what I shoot the most, is the American Gunner by Hornady, the 140 grain boat tail hollow point. And that's here on this target. So this is my first shots after getting zeroed with the other ammo. And then I just made a 0.1 mil adjustment down. I called this one right, and so if I called this one right, it probably would have hit right here. But that's less than an inch, or about an inch, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I shot kind of quickly here with the last 4 shots in the 10-round mag. So I'm super happy with that. That's at least 1 MOA, without getting super technical, out of a semi-automatic bullpup. So I'm really happy with that. The American Gunner ammo is extremely affordable. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of more shooting, and then we're going to stretch its legs here. I'm going to go ahead and do a box test. I've already got the scope leveled with the barrel. I use the Wheeler scope leveling kit for that. So I'm going to go ahead and do a box test. So we'll do 1 shot in the middle, confirm 0, and then we'll come up a mil, and then over a mil, and then go down 2 mils, over 2 mils, up 2 mils, and then back over and down 1 mil. Yeah, this was my first shot. I don't know why it was off there to the left. Then we came up a mil, over a mil, dropped down 2 mils, went right 2 mils, up 2 mils, and then back over and down 1 mil. So the last shot was in the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and do this test one more time. Okay, just shot the second time doing the box test. Let's go ahead and go down and see. This shot right underneath here was my first shot, and then this was my last shot. So as you see, those are much closer, slightly off to the left. Everything here seems to be slightly left, but all in all, that's pretty much within 1 MOA of all the other shots. So it seems to be tracking just fine. All right, now we're up at the long range. So let's go ahead and get the gear set up. I don't know if you've seen these before. These are the MTM mag carriers. They're super awesome. I like using it This one's for all my AR-10 mags. And then I have one for all my AR-15 mags. Makes it really easy for going to the range like this. I don't have to sit here and load mags. Just pull them out and good to go. Okay, so I have not run the dope on this gun yet through my ballistics app. I use Applied Ballistics. That's one I like. Yeah, it's not free, but I feel it's a little bit more accurate. We're going to go ahead and try to use the bullet drop compensator and see if we can hit these targets here without even changing the turrets here at all. So, we've got the 140 grain American Gunner Hornady Boattail Hollow Point. I'm going to double check distances here. I use this Sig Kilo 2000. Really love this rangefinder. It adjusts for angle. Okay, so the first berm is actually 235 yards. Second berm is 342. Third is 431. And then 539 on the fourth berm. Then let's get that last one right in the middle. 623. And then they've got a new target up in the lava rock that's at 1,130 yards. And then the one below the lava rock is 1,026. Man, let's see what we can do. Alright. Okay, we're going to start at the 230 whatever it was. Okay, that was a hit. So it goes straight from the chevron in the center of the scope, and then there's dots all the way down to the 300 mark. So I just put the steel target right in the middle of that. Don't know where it hit on the steel target, but it hit it. Okay, move to the 330 whatever it was. Okay, they got a big target and a small target. I'm going to go for the big one first. I'm going to put it right on the 350 hash. That's hit. Okay, now I'm going to go to the small target. It's about an 8-inch or a 10-inch gong. Nice. 400 looks like it's got one single either 8 or 10-inch gong. It was about 430. I'm going to put the 450 mark about 3/4 of the way down on the gong. See the Mirage moving. Hit! Gonna do that again. That was cool. Another hit. I'll just confirm here. This other distance. There's a big ram out there, probably 2 feet wide by about 18 inches tall. Hit! I'm going to take a shot at the 625. There appears to be a small hog, a big gong, and a little gong. Looks like it just missed that hog. Hit! Okay. This is my first time ever shooting this scope just using the BDC, besides doing the zero. This is incredible. Okay, let's go for the big gong. That's a hit. Okay, I'm going to go for the little gong. It's got to be an 8 or 10 inch. Oh, that's a dead center hit. Okay, that was pretty dang incredible. 0 turns on my turrets, just using the BDC. I'm glad I brought my rangefinder just to double check the ranges here. But I was actually able to get most of those hits first try. First time shooting this rifle with this scope. That's just incredible. So this scope is actually matched for the Hornady 140 ELD match. But I have found that this American Gunner 140 Boattail Hollow Point is pretty much on par with that. Of course, the ELD is going to do better, but for way less price, it's about 40 cents less per round. I am super satisfied with that. That's just incredible. Okay, I've got about 13 rounds left in here. Let's just go ahead and shoot them. Yeah. Oop. That was a miss. Hit. 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 Oh, that's incredible. Okay, so this bottoms out right at 1,000 yards. I'm going to see if we can hit that 1,030 yard target. I don't even know that we'll be able to hear it. Let's go ahead and see if we can give it a hit. It is way the heck out there. I did this with my Desert Tech SRS A1, and that was pretty easy, but never done it in a semi-auto before. So I've got a little bit of a crosswind, and because this has a Christmas tree style BDC, each dot that's coming out is actually a 5 mile an hour hold. I've got about, I think it's a full value wind at about 5 miles an hour, but it's coming and going. I can see it down there, but it doesn't seem to be happening closer. So I'm holding it kind of right on that first 5 mile an hour mark, slightly left. It's definitely fluctuating here, I can feel it. Maybe it's only about 3 miles an hour. Okay, that last one sounded like a hit. It definitely sounded different from the rest. I won't really know. The road only goes out to 600 yards, then you've got to hike the rest of the 400 yards. Not really interested in doing that right now. Let's see what we're down to. We're down to 2 shots in this mag. Let's go ahead and hit the ram again at 540. Sweet! 430. Oh, just over the top right. Dang it! I just hit the 1,000! Ah, I didn't get it on video. Okay, I gotta do it again. Hit! Ah! So, right where the 950 and the 1,000 hash mark is, I'm holding the target right in the middle of that. I've got a slight cross breeze to the right, so I'm holding at about 1/3 to the left of the center of the target, if that's confusing enough for you. And that's where it's hitting. Ah, finally! Got it on video! Ha! At the 11:30, first try. I just eyeballing it. Ah, I freaking love this reticle. Ah! Okay, I'm actually back here out at the range now. We're having about 20 mile an hour winds with gusts of about 30 miles an hour. It's actually moving even some of the trash cans and stuff around here. Really windy. What I want to do today is use this windage offset, see if it'll work on this reticle for this wind today, because it's really pretty bad. So that Christmas tree on the bottom is the BDC, and you can see on the left, right, and vertical is still in bills. So let's go ahead and give it a try. I don't have my tripod with me, so I'll just have to report back on how it's going. It was way too windy out there, and I didn't have my tripod, and my scope phone mount wasn't really working, so I had to do the best I could with just taking pictures, trying to show where my reticle was when I took the shot, and then you can see the red arrow of where the hits are. So with this one, I was at 235 yards, and so I knew I was supposed to be right about here, because this is my 100 yard zero. And so this is about where I had the steel target. This is about an 8 or 10 inch gong. And each one of these dots here stands for 5 miles an hour of windage. Since I had a strong left to right wind, I was holding off about the 3rd or 4th mark. And right here's the impact. I was holding right about here, so it was still hitting a little bit right. So this is at 342 yards. This is a really big gong. I was holding right about the 350 mark on the 3rd and 4th dot, right in there. And you could barely see the impact just on the outer edge of the bullseye. So that one was pretty much on. That was a really cool shot. This is the smaller target at 342 yards. Again, it's about an 8 to 10 inch gong. I was holding right on the 350 mark, and I was holding on the 4th dot this shot, and you could see that the shot was barely touching the bullseye, just off to the left a little bit. Another really great shot. This right here is 431. this right here is 539. And for this one, I was holding just above this 550 mark, but I had the steel target right here in between the third and fourth dot, holding for about 15 to 20 miles an hour of wind. And you can see again, just on the left side of the bullseye. And then on the 539, hit dead center. With that one, I was holding right on the 550 at the 20 mile an hour mark. So the winds were really crazy, gusting quite a bit, and it was really great to see that even with the 140 grain boat tail hollow point American gunner ammo, which this scope is not designed for, it was getting very, very close hits to what the 140 grain ELD match is supposed to be hitting with. So I was very, very pleased with the results on that. Then a couple weeks later, I actually got to go hunting, elk hunting with my dad and a friend. So I took my Desert Tech MDR and the Apollo scope. We finally found an elk. It wasn't a huge one. It was a little yearling, but finally got an elk. It was the only one we got a shot at the whole week and a half we were out there. And I was able to take it at 70 yards with the Apollo and MDR. Now with that, I had to actually crank down my elevation quite a bit, and there was only about a 12-inch opening through the trees about 70 yards away, and just barely was able to get it, shot it straight through the neck. It didn't even take a step. It just dropped exactly where it was standing. So that was a really fun trip, and I was glad I was able to do that with the Apollo and the MDR. It was absolutely incredible walking around with this lumberjack pack with my rifle in it, and the barrel stuck up to right here on my pack. Going through the bushes and the trees was no problem at all. It was very easy because of how short the rifle was, and I'm absolutely in love with this combination of the MDR and the Apollo scope. And at a price point of only $500, there isn't anything on the market right now that comes close to this with the first focal plane setup that has got the 6.5 Creedmoor BDC in it while still using mils on the windage and top half of the elevation lines in the reticle. It's just absolutely everything I've ever wanted in a scope. So I'm really, really happy with it. Well, I hope you guys have found this scope review and MDR review pretty helpful. I'm loving the MDR. I put this cheek pad on it. Definitely very comfortable with the cheek pad. When I was shooting it in 308, it had quite a bit of recoil to the point where I had to put another pad back on here. I don't know how other guys shoot the 308 without a pad. It's mine kicks super hard. A friend of mine down in Texas has the exact same MDR. Doesn't seem to kick nearly as hard in 308. No idea what the difference is there. Updated gas blocks, everything. But in the 6.5 Creedmoor from ES Tactical, oh man, this thing is money. It's loving the 140 Boattail Hollow Point Hornady American Gunner. Man, that's a mouthful. I'm definitely going to be getting a lot more of that. That stuff is spot on. And this scope, man, that's crazy easy to shoot. Get it sighted in at 100 yards and just use the BDC from there. Definitely the way to go. If you found any of this helpful, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe. If you're interested in any of this gear, I'll put links below. I pay for everything out of my own pocket, and so the links below are affiliate links. I do get a small commission for those. If you don't, I'm not going to have my feelings hurt, but if you do, I truly appreciate it. It really helps support the channel. It helps me buy the ammo and the equipment so I can bring you these guys' reviews. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for tuning in.